What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. Thank you so much for joining us here on the very special Monday night stream.
Yeah,
A little atypical of us.
yeah, guys, we're on Thanksgiving break here with family in the ATL, so we had a great time there, and some family, of course, family stuff here as well. But so yeah, we've been gone for a little bit, right? We just got back late last night, and said let's recap what happened. We did want to get in time for the game and go live, but we were just unable to do that. First time we missed a game in 8 years, basically. But bouncing back, and we were happy we got the win, bouncing back, looking good on national TV against Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving, we'll talk about that and more tonight.
Yeah, for a game with very low expectations heading into it, surprising how much we do have to talk about
Yeah,
afterwards, considering
yeah,
we played the Giants.
yeah. So now, as we roll on here, guys, gotta shout out some special people. We're going to recap the Giants game. Just a quick preview of that Bengals opponent coming up next. But let's give out the shout outs to those that rep these boards here for this channel here, My Cowboys Family, starting with the man John Luna.
Huge shout out to Mr. Luna. Appreciate you, of course.
Yeah, back to back to back, 3 weeks in a row of domination as our sponsor of the week, and 3 weeks in a row as being our gifting champion. Some of the legendary boards we got going on there. Appreciate you. And then you see the rest of the board. John Luna ain't done. He said, I got 76 points on the Stream Boss. And that's where he's sitting right now in the green. While Mary Alvarez is the Cash App queen. After Pat Pfeiffer last week had it, passed it over to Mary Alvarez. And we'll see what happens. Right now, we do have a couple leaders on this week. And you can see um, when it comes to the overall board, we had a couple drops, actually. Let me start off with that. And starting off with a couple Cash App drops from Jet Li 44, who's right now edging out Skeptical Fan and his $2 holler in PayPal. So we got a $2 drop from Skeptical Fan, and I think it came to like almost a $3 drop from a combination of $3 drop from Jet Li 44. So Jet Li 44 is in the lead by just a couple of dollars. That's what it is. So and you see that's the Cash App board side of things. Then you got the overall gifting, the overall leaderboard, which is A. Lavelle, one of our silver level members here who jumped. Of course, he did the monthly membership hit. Big shout outs to A. Lavelle in first place. A bunch of people tied for second, like Alpha Male Pimp, Gerald Swain, and Darren Hosey. All three of them are also in the Navy Blue crew. Big shout out to them on our days off here. They were still jumping in there. Of course, Skeptical Fan, like I said, he's next on the list there with 2 in the PayPal and overall total of 4. And Jet Li got a 3+ right there. Oh, sorry, a 2+ in the Cash App side, hence why he is the Cash App leader. As we really second stream in 2 weeks, so that's why it's kind of on the low side. You know what I mean? Oh well, things gonna change for a moment here because we do have a name that we've seen here recently, and I hope she's feeling a lot better. But right now we got ourselves, we had Jet Li as the leader, but if I'm not mistaken, we just got a 5 on it from the one and only, the great Pat Pfeiffer.
Thank you so much, Pat Pfeiffer. Appreciate you, of course,
Yes,
kicking things
yes.
off, the right way here on the FCF side of
Yeah,
things.
and truly thank you. She is automatically right there in second place on the overall board. And right now, in first place in the Cash App for that queenage. So we got Cash App Queens 2 weeks in a row. We'll have a three-peat of the Cash App Queens. We'll see. Much love to you, Pat Pfeiffer. I'll update the board here in a minute, but maybe there's a couple ways that people can help out the channel. You can see it happening right now. Super chat on YouTube. You can give thanks money, a thanks drop, I think it is, on any videos that were posted already. And you get the membership side of things. Like I just shouted out a whole bunch of members, Navy Blue, Silver, Star, and over everything levels. And then when you're in the membership, you can gift memberships through there randomly, passing out, 1 month trials. So in that Navy Blue crew. So big shout outs to those that have done that. But there's 4 other ways to help out the channel after dark style. Pat Pfeiffer here knows. You just drop in the Cash App for that Cash App king or queen. Other ways maybe they can help out on that side.
You have, of course, the Cash App, money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen like a super chat would.
Yeah, you know it. So yeah, big shout outs to anybody who drops the love through any of these ways. Also, baby, can you explain the new thing you two kind of gave our channel is the that little bullseye, that goal. And we have a raffle. We'll talk
That's
about that in
right.
a minute,
We
but we got
have,
coming up right here this week.
let's call it stream goals.
Yeah.
Just making it up on the fly here. But yeah, YouTube kind of released this new feature that lets you kind of set a quote unquote goal for each live stream, and we're trying to figure out a way to show some love and appreciation for those who help contribute towards that goal. So every time that the goal is met, anyone who helped contribute towards that goal is entered into their own raffle to possibly get an entry into our usual, monthly raffles that we
Yeah.
do here for our jersey.
In case you're wondering, it's right there, right? And you can see star and over everything level memberships automatically get in this. We got to do our November raffle here in a week or so, probably this week, maybe this week, if not this week, next week for sure. But in this raffle, we'll have one of those winners from the goal raffle, I guess. What was it you called it?
The stream goal.
The stream goal raffle to get into this thing. So we'll do that first, and then we'll do this one with the person who won that. So the star level gets one raffle entries over everything. Which I think we do have a couple from last month, two of them, Chill Pill and Seabass, who are on the over everything from the month of November, and they those guys get two raffle entries, and then the weekly winners, and John Luna's been repping it, so he's not only in the star level, got a bunch of bonus weekly raffle entry, weekly winner raffle entries. But then that's why we added one other chance. Again, you don't have to be in the membership to even get into the weekly winner portion of things. But for example, I went blank for a second, guys. But I was going to say we added one more way of getting into this thing with the goals and that bullseye up in the upper left. So if we have 10 people hit that goal today, what is it, 10? 10 have to be $5 or higher. I think the teal color, I guess they said. So 10 of those drops, you hit the goal, and then all 10 drops will be put into the raffle. Whoever's names are attached to that, was the people that dropped it in there. So if you get two, that's great, but you're just not in the raffle for that. If you have to hit the 5 or over, that's how that goes. Just wanted to add another way for people to get into this raffle. And by the way, what can they win, baby?
Well,
MCF
you've
style.
seen us rep our very own authentic leg stitching jerseys, a variety of players, styles, sizes, heck, even sports. They don't have
Yeah,
to be Cowboys, but of course we're pretty partial to the Cowboys around here.
yeah,
So,
hell yeah, you know it. So appreciate everybody in this and involved, and let's keep it rolling here, I guess. As we do the nightly shout outs, who's in the house tonight here? And we'll kick this off and get it going. Because we got a little bit to talk about after missing about 6 days here in MCF.
of course, first of all, shout out to Lil Dallas Cowboy, much love, who has been saying, oh, it's rush hour, it's rush hour.
Yeah.
I made a joke saying, you're
It's
right, it is rush hour because the offense is going to move for 2 hours.
the only thing I want to say is this is that if the Cowboys, get enough wins, Mike McCarthy's gonna get himself another contract.
Oh,
And it's not if you can do that with Cooper Rush, it's McCarthy, not Cooper Rush. You know what I mean? Like that's who's going to get the contract is McCarthy. Anyways, go ahead, baby.
oh man,
Little
just
Dallas Cowboy in the
that
house.
that 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 fun thought is not what I wanted to start off the stream with. McCarthy possibly getting re-extended in
And
here
we
in
heard
Dallas,
about
but
that last week from Jerry
I know,
Jones. Yeah.
I know, Mr. C Bass, you already know. Huge shout out to the man, C Bass.
Yeah. The
We
man
have
in the over everything from last month. Hell yeah.
big shout out to Pat Pfeiffer, much love.
Pat, right now the leader in the cash app.
That's right. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Let me see. Freedom first, not first. Not today. Thanks for hanging with us, though. We have Double R representing. What's up? Appreciate you, of course.
Yeah, and the FCF After Dark crew in there
That's
too
right.
somewhere.
One
So
and two.
yeah, always 1-2, 1-2.
Always watching.
Always. Well, let's keep watching what's going on out there in the NFL before we get rolling. Of course, there was a game tonight. There's a whole bunch of games yesterday. Our Cowboys played Thursday afternoon. We'll get to them in a minute. But let's just get some basic kind of updates here on things in the around the NFL. First off, congrats to Tyreek Hill. Him and his wife had the birth of their baby girl. He's 30 years old, but now this is his 11th child,
Busy, busy.
and he's had 5 this year. Yeah, yeah.
I guess a busy year.
Moving on, Saquon Barkley. I hate to say it in the Eagles, and he's currently on pace for 2,123 rushing yards, which would surpass Eric Dickerson's record of 2,105 yards set in 1984. And I remember that. So Barkley's on the verge of, if he continues his pace, and he's doing unbelievable with the Eagles right now, he may pass the all-time record in
I have to
rushing
be honest,
yards.
it sounds like he might actually do it.
We'll see. That's a hard thing to do. It's a lot harder than people realize. If he does it in this day and age, it'd be mind blowing. So just the
I
fact that
feel
he's
like I
in the
hate to
round,
say it, but it does feel slightly more impressive in this day
yeah,
and age, just because
and
again,
that's
running backs
why
are just not used the
we
same
know the
way.
Bills, crushed the Niners in the snow after they made the Amari Cooper helping out with that trick play. That not trick play. It was a play that kind of happened in the moment, but caught the pass, threw it back to Josh Allen, ran in the end zone. My point is that you know when you have the MVP candidates right now,
Hmm.
a lot of different names. The two that are left right now are Josh Allen and Saquon Barkley, which is amazing. A running back is in the competition there. Like we had, Micah in the competition for a little bit a couple years ago. So it's kind of weird to have Saquon though this deep into the season already. Still, again, if he gets the Eric Dickerson record, he's getting the MVP. I'll tell you right now. Um, that seemed almost an unbreakable record for some time. Adrian Peterson came so close from it, but did not get it to it. So, anyways, here's a guy we could have had in Dallas. His name is Bobby Wagner. With the Washington Commanders this year, he became the second player to record 100 tackles in 13 consecutive seasons. Remember, Dan Quinn wanted this guy in Dallas. We passed him up while the Joneses passed him up. I've been screaming about getting him in here 4 or 5 years since Dan Quinn was here with us. I said, let's bring in Bobby Wagner. He's still got juice. He's still a leading tackler in the NFL last year, a Pro Bowler, and not asking for a crazy amount of money to basically be your star middle linebacker and really cause havoc. That's what he does, make tackles in the run. That's what our biggest issue was. And it wasn't because Dan Quinn wasn't able to do it. It was more about the Joneses didn't want to bring in his guy, Bobby Wagner. Now in Washington, I don't care. 13 years, still an unbelievable situation there, guys. Second player to record 100 plus tackles in 13 consecutive seasons. The only other person is London Fletcher. And they actually, connected in the past as well. So Bobby Wagner is still doing crazy, great things over there, even in 13 years. Of
Good
being
for him.
but I'm saying a guy that Dan Quinn brought in to Washington, he was trying to bring in for 2 years in Dallas, at least 2 years, maybe even more. So, anyways, by the
Two
way,
years that we knew of.
yeah, and we knew he also came from the Rams side of things. But the Rams, the Washington Commanders, they released. This is kind of weird. I think last year's first round pick, Emmanuel Forbes Jr., a cornerback. First overall, he's a first round pick. I think he was like 20th or something. He was a little undersized and skinny, was the big hit on him. They took a chance a lot. Somebody else would have drafted him in the first round. Bust. Was released. Put on waivers. And I was hoping the Cowboys make a move for him. The Cowboys did not. The Rams decided to make a move and they claimed them off of waivers.
Hmm.
So, I don't know if the Cowboys waiting for it to go by, but the point is to say
Maybe it's a positive sign that they expect Trayvon to be back, and now that we have Deron Bland, like I don't know, I'm just saying maybe
the
they
point is
Cowboys see it as a
the
positive
point is
sign.
for me, Emmanuel Forms is more of a free project you can work with. Like he's a guy you can just see what you can get from him, and he's your fourth or fifth guy. At the very least, like he can be built into something as in second, third year now, going into the NFL. So I don't know. It would have been nice to take a chance on. Maybe the Cowboys put a waiver claim. I didn't hear they did. The Rams though did, and the Rams got him. So he's out of the mix there as far as free agents are concerned. Now, if you watched tonight's game, it was crazy, high scoring, like 42-31. I don't know, it was crazy. But Jerry Jeudy from the Browns, he had 219 plus receiving yards, which are the most in NFL history by any player in a game versus his former team. And Judy was with the Broncos. He went to the Browns. The thing is, with the Browns, he at the time he had 219 yards. I think he ended up with like 249 yards receiving, and the record. He broke was held by Terrell Owens from Dallas Cowboys when he played the Niners in 2008. He had 213 yards against his old team in the Niners. That used to be the record. No more. Cowboy record falls to the sideline there as far as an
Oh,
NFL record is concerned. Another
another
record,
one.
yeah, another NFL record. I just talked about Josh Allen in the MVP race. He's the first quarterback with a pass, rush, and receiving touchdown in the same NFL game. Going back to that play I talked about earlier when it came to uh, Amari Cooper making the catch, pitching it back to Josh Allen. He got 7 receiving yards there, and it counts as a receiving touchdown. So
I
crazy
have to
stats,
admit
crazy
that is
stats.
definitely one of the weirder,
Yeah,
well,
really.
weird, not like just weird NFL plays, stats,
Yeah.
happenings,
Some people are
rules.
saying that's the play of the year. I'm like, we forget Cavante Turpin's return. I don't know. Anyways, Um,
That was impressive as fuck.
the thing is, the Ravens. You look at their loss to the Eagles yesterday. The Ravens' 5 losses this year have been from a combined 22 points total. Combined 5 losses by 22 points total. So chop them five. It's basically like 4.5 points per loss. And if you look at Justin Tucker, who's having the worst year of his career, he missed an extra point yesterday, by the way. He has 22 points worth of missed kicks, field goals or extra points in the Ravens' 5 losses this year. Literally could have been the difference of at least tying all those 5 games.
That is a
So
good point.
yeah, a lot of points left. The Ravens are better than they actually are. They just got to figure out a way to put it together and not miss out Justin Tucker, one of their veteran guys, having the worst season he ever
I
had.
know, but I'm gonna say it though. Good
Yeah,
teams find ways to win despite those types of
yeah, and
mistakes.
they're blowing some of their closer games, obviously against better teams. Also, I heard today that according to their coach, John Harbaugh, he said we're getting it figured out. Then they asked him about maybe getting a new kicker. He said no, we're getting it figured out. So we'll see. Now I want to go to the Chicago Bears for a quick second. Their former head coach, Matt Everfluss, well, I said former because he got fired right after that Thanksgiving game disaster. Again, you guys remember, I don't know if you guys watched that. We didn't talk much about it, I think, even with us. But the Bears had a chance to like do something there to tie the game or take the lead, and they fucked up. Bad coaching move, and they blew any chances they had against Detroit to upset them. So he was fired, guys, after that ugly loss to the Lions. That was their 6th loss in a row for the Bears. And now now there's basically he's the NFL's third head coach opening of this year. If you remember, Matt Everfluss, of course, now fired.
Yep.
But then before that, Dennis Allen was fired in New Orleans. They got an interim coach there, and Robert Saleh fired in the New York Jets. They got an interim coach there. At the time, before the Bills game and the Niners, and tonight's game with the Browns and the Broncos, the first 12 games of the week were decided by 7 points or fewer, which was tied for the most in a single week in NFL history. The Bills game was a blowout, and this game ended up a last-second interception, running
Yeah.
back for a touchdown, but running back ending. Well, it would have been a 3 or let me see. I'm trying to think. It would have been a 3 or 7 point game, basically.
Yeah.
So 3 or 4 with 7 points. That's a one-score possession. 8 points is one-score possession. That's what it would have been if the Browns would have scored in the last 40 seconds in any form, kick or touchdown. So again, it did not break the record, but it tied the record. So the craziest week when it comes to close games. Just wanted to throw it out there.
Just again a good NFL week if you're a fan
Yeah.
of football, and not just the Dallas Cowboys.
Hmm.
Although obviously
Hmm.
Dallas Cowboys come first.
It's hard to be a Cowboy fan, but that's the true fans stay around. Even late night like us here, right?
To our turkey that Thursday.
Yeah, hell yeah. We got that victory. We'll talk about that 27-20 win against the Giants in a minute. But let's first talk about the Niners. They're also declined, like we have declined. Injuries are the main reason. We have bad ownership and injuries. But Kyle Shanahan said that Christian McCaffrey's little leg issue, he looked like something happened in that left leg,
Yeah.
something bust in there. Actually happened not on that play. It happened on the play before. He fell on his knee hard. And he got back up, went in the huddle, and then he would try to run on that. On the next play, he just dropped to the ground.
Okay.
Kyle Shanahan reported that Christian McCaffrey did injure his PCL, and it's a 6-week recovery time thing. He's now headed to AR. I mean IR. IR. He is going to IR, and he had no surgery is required at all, which is good news for him there. But he again basically
That's
missed
the
the whole
only
year.
positive news.
Yeah, he missed the whole year basically. It's the end of the season for him. They're not making the playoffs, and their other running back, their backup Jordan Mason, suffered an ankle injury, is also placed on IR. So they lost both of their running backs in this one game, with 2 running backs now down on injured reserve, both on IR. The Niners' lead back is rookie Isaac Guerrero. Yeah, exactly. A rookie. The only good news for them, I guess, outside of the fact that no surgery is required for McCaffrey, is that Talonoa Hufanga, running back, gets his practice window open. So he's a guy they try to get him worked in there. They got 2 guys now, young guys at running back. If they're lucky, their season's done. Not only that, but defensive lineman Kevin Givens tore his pec and also went on injured reserve for the Niners. So they lost a lot of people like we have, and they've been losing like we have. Taysom Hill from the Saints and, after running for like a 2 yard gain for a first down, did in fact have a torn ACL and additional damage, according to sources. So a serious injury. He's 35 years old. To recover from this, it's going to be tough for him to do that. Being that old and having to recover from basically an ACL tear and additional damage to the knee. Taysom Hill's career could be coming to a
Yeah,
close sooner than
I have a
expected.
feeling we'll be hearing an announcement sooner rather than later there.
Yeah, that's crazy though, because he was, he still was always like a utility guy. Now he might be the guy who's out for the season, and I mean he's out for the season, but he's maybe out for his career. We'll see. But the last thing I want to say is it's related to this Cowboy game. Actually, is a guy who was dominated by Brock Hoffman on Thanksgiving, and that's Dexter Lawrence. But the Giants, what happened was that I talked about how great he did this year before the game, and I'll talk about Brock Hoffman how great he did against them. But potential defensive player of the year nominee, or not nominee, but most people would qualify him as a potential defensive player of the year. Dexter Lawrence from the Giants suffered a dislocated elbow in that loss to the Cowboys, and he's going to miss the rest of the season. So Brian Dable said it's a long-term injury with 5 games to go. Dexter Lawrence was put on IR, and he's out for the rest of the year. He's looking for 2025 now. Now let me talk about our Cowboys on Thanksgiving against and feasting on the Giants for the most part. The Thanksgiving Day victory for the Cowboys earned 38.5 million viewers and projects to rank as the most watched NFL telecast this regular season on any network.
Of course.
The game peaked at 41.3 million viewers between 6 p.m. 6:15 p.m. Eastern. I just want to say some other things here. Again, it's up over 14% over Fox's Thanksgiving broadcast last season. And I'm just saying, this is with both teams, Cowboys and the Giants, starting quarterbacks out and having to start backups. It's the power of that star, baby. You know it. So, Jerry Jones is happy. He got the game of the year as far as viewers are concerned.
That's the type of stuff that revitalizes Jerry.
Oh yeah, Jerry doubles down more so now. Oh yeah. So when you look at the NFC again, let's look at this in a realistic way, baby. This is one of the questions I have before we talk about the Giants game because we won. We know everyone knows we won, and we're going to talk about a couple of factors about good, bad, and ugly as we always do. Mainly, good. Of course, we won, but playoffs, draft pick. I want to know what you guys think about this. I'm gonna ask a poll on Friday or something when we go live for the Cincinnati breakdown.
Yeah.
But draft pick or playoffs. I'll give you a look on both. Okay, I'll give you. I'm going to be non-biased on this and try to give you a look on both. But I'm going to give you my opinion as well, and I want yours, baby.
Of course.
And I want the chats as well. So NFC East through Week 13, Eagles are 10-2. Commanders are 2.5 games back at 8-5. Cowboys are 5-7. We're 5 games back, and the Giants are 2-10. So forget it. They're done. Did it. We knew that already. But let's look at let's look at two things. Let's look at the schedule that's remaining for the Cowboys, as we have to kind of do. Boom. And then let's take a look at the playoff situation right now. Right now, the Lions are 11-1. The Eagles are 10-2 in the second seed. The third seed have the Seahawks. Currently, the Seahawks at 7-5, and the Falcons at 6-6. Believe it or not, 6-6. They win the South. 6-6. I mean, we were there. We were one game out from first place. The wild cards right now, which is the only way we can get in. The Eagles have to lose every game. We have to win every game. And then we have to win tiebreaker. So we cannot catch the Eagles. But what about the wild card spot? Well, we got the Vikings. They're 10-2.
Okay.
Remember, the Lions are 11-1. They're 10-2. They're like a conference winner in the wild card. We're not catching the Vikings. The Packers are 9-3. Very difficult to catch. And the best we can do.
They seem a little far.
The best we can get is 10 wins. And the Commanders are 8-5. That's the one spot that's open. That's 7th seed. Who's in the hunt? The Buccaneers are 6-6. We're one game back from the Bucs. We play them, as you can see. The Cardinals are 6-6. And they're one game back on the Commanders. But we're one game. I'm sorry. Both these teams are 2 games back on the Commanders, or a game and a half back. The Cowboys are just a game back on both these guys, and also the Rams are 6-6. The next team are the Cowboys and the Niners. So my point is, and the Niners are 5-7, and we're 5-7. And I hate to say that we're still in the hunt because we technically are, especially against the Bengals. We're in the hunt. Get it? Anyway, the point is, even the Bucks, the Cardinals, and Rams are game and a half back on the Commanders. The Commanders definitely could have a blowout and and blow out their tire and then just go downhill. But they just
Yeah.
blew out the Tennessee Titans, so they're not going anywhere yet. And that's the only opening for the Cowboys or any of these teams in the hunt. And again, like I said, we are right behind the Bucks, the Cardinals, and the Rams and the Niners. Those are the only teams left that can catch the Commanders. And the Commanders, they got 8 wins and we got 5. So we right now are basically 2.5 games back on the Commanders for that playoff seed with 5 games to go. Sounds great, right? We got a chance, right? And again, when you look at the week of games that won and lost, whether it helps us for the playoffs or helps us for the draft picks, it was not the worst week for us. The other games, the way they fell. Cowboys are 5-7 right now. We're winners of 2 in a row. Oh my God. 5 weeks left. Slim odds. Oh, we got the man Mark Hosepian in the house. We wanted to hear from you for a while, my man, and I can't wait to hear what you got to say.
And
What is the
big
man?
mahalo
Hell yeah.
to Marco Seppi and kicking things off with the $5 holler. He said, "Why do some want us to win? We are going nowhere in the playoffs. Do we want another 22nd pick? It's like leading a team 35-0 and still playing your starters."
I love this. This is the perfect timing for my man Marco Sepian for tonight. Again, Mark, I agree with you. I mean, I'm going to tell you my opinion in a minute. I'm trying to be non-biased and just show everybody what we have to face. I'm trying to be rational. Yes, we could be listed in the hunt. Of course, they're going to list us in the hunt, right? They listed the Bengals in the hunt. They're 4-8. You know why?
Yeah, the only thing
But
I feel like we're hunting is wabbits.
you know why though? Why do you think Monday Night Football today put the Bengals at 4-8? Because they got them on Monday night on next week against the Cowboys.
Very true.
So they want to show like the Bengals really got a shot. They got no shot. I mean, yeah, they're listen, their situation in the AFC a little easier to get in there, but they got like 3 spots they can get in instead of 1. Still,
They're clearly trying to show the Bengals and the Cowboys as more competitive teams than
yeah,
they are in reality.
yeah. So my thing is this: is that I am 100% with Marco Sepian. I don't want to just sell. I'm not gonna sit here and say I want to see us lose. I will never say that, but I will say I just want us to get through the season, and I do not want to make the playoffs because to me, first of all, very slim odds to make it, and even if we do, like Mark said, are we going to really win? Of course not. We're gonna be in the which of these teams I just mentioned that we can maybe bypass? And look at this. I mean, who can we bypass in the playoffs? Of those guys I mentioned, none of them. None of them. Now, who is? Here's the thing, Mark, and here's what I hate to tell Mark. That's why we're hearing Jerry Jones. This game against the Bengals is literally the Mike McCarthy and staff game. If they win this, Mike McCarthy is going to make a move for that to stay in there and get rehired by Jerry Jones and the staff. Because to do this with Cooper Rush is going to be the what Jerry Jones is going to push. I'm preparing you, Mark. And I know Mark's cheering for the Bengals in this week. I cannot cheer for the Bengals, but in my heart, I cannot. It'll be a fake. It'd be fake if I cheer for the Bengals, but I understand. So when you look now, that's the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
We make the play. Are we going to beat the fucking Vikings or the Lions or the Packers or the or the Eagles or
I mean, not unless we give them a food poisoning
no
to win
one?
the game.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, the chance is great to have, and then we get the 22nd pick again, 21st pick. Whoop de fucking do. So when you look at let's look at the draft order real quick, guys. Jacksonville, Vegas, and the Giants. Those are the top 3 picks. And there are 2 wins. The Jets, I'm sorry, the Patriots are at 3 wins, 3-10. Jets, Tennessee are at 3-9. And the Panthers, Cleveland Browns. Well, Cleveland, I guess Cleveland is now 3-9 as well. Carolina is 7th. I'm sorry, 8th at 3-8 right now. And then you got the next bracket at 4-8. Bengals and Bears. That's 9 and 10 spots right there. No Cowboys. This is a 4 wins team now. We're a 5-win team. Back in the top 10, we got to lose a couple. And some of these teams got to win a couple. So we're not even close to the top 10 in reality in the draft picks. I want Mark to hear this too. But then you look at 11, right? 11, we got New Orleans at 4-7. The Dolphins at 5-7 at 12. And then the Cowboys at 13th. Right now, we have the third, even with the wins, the 2 wins in a row, we went from 11 to 13th. That's not that bad. Right? I mean, again, I'm not saying I love it because, but it's good. It's nice to get a little winning back, But I am not a fool. I know that this team cannot hang in the playoffs, and I don't want to see another dismal performance. Now, I will say the defense is fantastic when they got all their healthy guys in there, but with Cooper Rush and the way that we are kind of just getting through the very weak teams like the Giants, 2 wins. You can't. I hear people getting hyped again. Are you freaking kidding me? You guys are either delusional or like Jerry Jones, like to see the Cowboys in competition. So it helps you out. Listen, we know the deal. We know the Cowboys. We know the Jerry Jones, mo. Stay competitive, so people keep watching. We're watching because we're Cowboy fans for life. We're crazy fans, but we ain't spending money on Jerry Jones stuff. I mean, games or jerseys or stuff. We got our own ways of getting that stuff without going through Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. So we're not going to go to game support. We're just going to do our little protest. We tell you about that, guys. It's in the beginning of this year, basically, and in the no moves all in bullshit. But my point is, let me just go back for a second though. When you get the Buccaneers right behind us, uh, you know, 6-6, the Rams 6-6, um, Niners 5-7. So I'm just saying, like, and then you get to the end of these, we can jump all the way to 20. I'm not 20, but 18th possibly, right? That could be we could get 18th, 17th pick. Right now we're at 13th. The lowest we can get without making it low is 18th, which is the Cardinals right now. I just want to say one thing, and I'd like to ask Marco Seppi this. By the way, with that drop, he did hit the bullseye, hit the goal, and I'll put you on the board there in a tie with Gerald Swaim and the rest of the crew there in third place. But I did want to say something else about, and he knocked John Luna to 71 points. But I want to say something else. For those that are advocating for the Cowboys to tank, so to speak, we just finished beating the fucking Giants, all right? Who, by the way, the New York Giants have had the 6 top 7 picks. So they've had 6 picks in the top 7 in the last 7 drafts. They've picked in the top 6. And since 2017, the Giants are tied with the Jets for the fewest wins in the NFL. Just because you draft high don't mean you draft
Yep.
good.
I was just about to say that. I'm like, yeah, maybe if you're rubbing elbows with the Jets, maybe that's your first sign that things are
That's a good point.
not going the way you want
I'm
them
just trying to
to.
look at it from both ways. We don't need to make the playoffs, guys. Let's be honest and real.
Right.
But we also can't just sit here and say because we get the 5th pick of the draft, we're going to do great.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like that.
It's again, it's a weird dichotomy, right? Like we're not just gonna lay down and bend
And
over.
the thing is, like Mark, and I'm going to Mark specifically. I'm asking him because he's most vocal about this. He says that we don't do good in draft picks. We don't draft well. So why do you? Again, I don't have a problem with. I'm not going to choose to lose. That's not me. But I understand why you want to see get a high draft pick. But if you already like Mark doubts the draft that we've made, the picks we've made, and the draft overall, whether it's Will McClay or the Joneses, whoever, then who cares what we draft? Who cares if we're the 18th pick or the 5th pick? Like, yeah, we'll get a better player, better chance of getting a better player, but doesn't mean we do shit because we have a bad drafting system, according to a lot of people. So, like, it's a lose-lose, you know what I mean, in this situation. And I just want the Cowboys to play their best, not get injured, and, let's see what happens. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, Jimmy Johnson. Oh, some people in the chat talking. I'm sorry. I'll shut up. Go ahead, baby.
Good. I did want to hit up 1 or 2 quick
Yeah,
comments.
of course. Family in the house.
Aztec Aguilar 4 said that's the point. If we win 3 more games, Jerry will be like, see, at least McCarthy got us 8 wins
Yep.
with all these injuries.
We get 8-9 wins, McCarthy's staying.
Mm.
Because of the exactly what you said, because of the injury situation.
GM, what's up? Saying tanking won't help when the Panthers are getting the first pick again.
I mean, we're not tanking for the first. Listen, people are saying just tank it, top 5 picks, something like that, top 7 pick. That's what they're saying. They're not saying tank till to get the first pick. We're not going to get the first pick. I never say tank. I can never say tank. I just can't do it. Sorry, but I understand. Although we're going to talk about tank today, I understand the viewpoint of doing, getting a higher draft pick.
Of course.
So I'm not going to necessarily sit here and say cheer for it, but I am going to say, we lose, we lose. It is what it is. So be it. And Marco Seppian, he said, hold up, tied in first place now on the overall board, 8 away from hitting the bullseye goal. What did the man say, baby?
A big mahalo again. Marco Seppian, he said, we have a better chance to get a player at 6 versus 22.
Right. I 100% agree.
Since we know we won't go anywhere, this is where we play the young guys and just see what they've got.
Good point. Hey, that's all I wanted was an explanation.
The problem is, Mark, that usually the young guys who would be getting that play time, they're already on the field.
Well,
We're already.
this year they're on the field. Yes, I agree, and I will say it has helped them somewhat. No,
Oh, I'm sure.
I
Yeah,
mean we've
just
seen some guys step up.
hate to say it, but like pre-injury Josh Butler.
Mm.
Again, a guy who the first time I saw him play, I never wanted to see him on our field again.
Uh,
By the second time I saw him play, I was like, holy shit, that was pretty good.
And think about guys like Chauncey Golston, who popped off that screen
Yeah,
this year. And he's one of the guys that stepped up. We know we got a rotational guy. Now he's not scary. He's not a superstar. I know that's one of the main things that Mark wants, but that's where you get that 6th round pick. I mean, the 6th pick of the draft.
yeah.
And every round, you got to hit something. It's not just the first. People always think about the first round. Fuck that. It's about all the rounds. So you want the higher pick for all the rounds, not just the
GM,
first round.
GM reminding us, all of our last 4 years, we've had all pros.
Agreed. No, we've done great at the 20s for the first pick, except for Mozzie, I would say. I don't think Mozzie would count as a good one, but Tyler Smith. I mean, Guyton is still out, still seeing what's going on. But before that, yeah, we had some good picks up there. CD Lamb, and I'm just saying, like, I know we had some great pickups, but not. What I'm trying to say, it does not guarantee we do better than the Giants at drafting. But that's all we do is draft, and we miss a lot. So if we miss, you know, do 10 picks, do 10 spots every draft make that much of a difference? Is my question. And I do think it makes enough of a difference that I would like to let Will McClay run this. Even if he messes up here and there, I trust him over the Joneses and over making the fucking playoffs so we can get bounced and embarrassed in the first round. Like Cooper Rush and a team that's basically full of practice squad guys on offense
Yeah.
specifically. On defense, playing really good. I like the way we're playing on defense, but season gone.
So, I mean,
No. Any other comments, or we all good?
no, we're good.
All right. So Mark, much love to him. I just want to shout him out again. We got two hits on the bullseye there on the
The target.
goal board. Goal. And Mr. Again, he is tied right there with Mr. Lavelle. Mr. A. Lavelle and Marco Seppian tied for first place. Shout outs to you, bro. And by the way, Mr. Luna goes down to 66 points. Almost out of that green, that nice green spot right there. So, cool. And then we got the man Marco Seppian once again dropping that 5 on it.
So hold up, wait a minute.
It puts him in first place right now, kicking off basically a new week by himself. And also, it takes it to 7 away from hitting that goal. What did Mr. Lavelle, wait a minute, what did Marco Seppian have to say?
He said, if we get a number 5 pick, many teams in the top 12 don't need running backs. We could trade down, nab G&T at running back, still get an additional 2 or 3, but at 22, we can't do this.
100%. I see what you're saying. I agree with you on that. And I trust Will McClay running the show. Let's do it. I have no problem with that. I just can't cheer from the lose, but when we lose, it's just like, okay, we lost. Let's move on. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the key to this whole thing is how much Will McClay has influence. And again, he will mess up with the Mozzie, but then he'll make it up with Tyler Smith and CeeDee Lamb and 3 other guys. Things like Cravon Diggs in the 2nd round, Deron Bland in the 5th round. These are Will McClay moves right here, so that's what I'm looking at.
Special.
And so imagine if you get higher picks, you might have a better chance to either move down, attain more picks, like you said there, Mark. Great point. And then also take Jerry Jones out of it. This motherfucker. Take Jerry Jones out of it. Let Will McClay run it for the most part, and we will be successful. Since we only draft, we don't even pick up free agents. So we kind of have no choice. Now somebody who spoke about this was Jimmy Johnson. Before this game against the Giants, listen to this. He had made some comments that I think is kind of all true here. And this has to do with exactly what we're talking about now, playoffs or draft picks or whatever happens. To me, it's like whatever happens. We get draft picks. That helps us. If we win, it's fun for the moment. But in the end, we know we're not going anywhere this year. I don't care how many people are delusional about Cooper Rush or about this team after 2 wins, both against the NFC East. Washington team that don't look great or consistent, and the Giants team is the worst in the league. So Jimmy Johnson said this right before the Cowboy game against the Giants. Quote, I'm just saying they're going to go on a run. They're going to win today against the Giants, which they did. They're going to win next week against the Bengals. They're going to win the week after that against the Carolina Panthers. And then they're going to go on a run, and they're going to have a little bit of false hope. False hope for those that want to make the playoffs.
That's exactly what it is.
That's all. Here's a crazy part. That false hope is exactly the one thing that Jerry Jones wants. He needs it. He needs it. He don't care if we make the playoffs. He just wants us to stay in it as long as possible.
X's and C's,
he wants
Cowboy Ritas and ham.
He wants false hopes all around. Michael Strahan then interrupted. His part, he agreed 100% with Jimmy Johnson, saying it was a little too late for the Cowboys to become playoff contenders. And I know a lot of us. I'm going to say this. A lot of us out there, hoping I see some of the content creators bullshitting the fans, saying, well, "I'm back in. We're in this." Wake the fuck up. Even if we get to the playoffs, it just means a first round loss. We're gonna get the 20th pick of the draft, or the 19th pick of the draft. That's it. That's what it means. Making the playoffs, losing to the Eagles or some shit. Is that what you want? Is that what you want to end the season, guys? Really? So once a draft order comes out, this team is not. We are not a playoff team, and everyone hates the fact that we might have won some of those. The games with our full team and maybe actually had a real run on this thing. But it is not. Those are false hopes. I agree 100% with Jimmy Johnson. And all I'm saying is keep a level head when it comes to these kind of things. Because the hate for Dak, not winning for the last 29 years, and this false hope that Jerry Jones is trying to sell us.
I know.
It's going to cost the Cowboys a solid draft spot. And that is my vote. I vote with Mr. Marco Sepien. It's about the draft spot. I'm not saying to lose on purpose. I'm just saying play it out the way we got it and see what we got. And when we lose, we lose. Don't bitch about it or say, "Oh, we're out of the playoffs." We're going to be out of the playoffs the moment the playoffs start, if we make them. So again, why cost us a solid draft spot for 7 rounds?
Not to be the contrarian here, but
contrarian.
No, I remember I mentioned, and you know this because I actually mentioned this to you even after our game.
Yeah, go ahead, continue.
I don't believe in the tank, and here's why. Super easy. Where did we draft Micah?
11th.
Where did we draft CD?
17th. Something like
okay,
that.
So wherever it is that we end up, however we end up, because you're right, I don't see us going too far. I just can't lay down and give up. I just can't accept the mediocrity that Jerry is trying to get us to accept. So, to me, I see it as not even a lose-lose. To me, it's a win all the way around. We're not going to do so well that we don't end up with what I think is going to be a solid pick. If not an even better one, if we end up sucking even more. Right. So there you go. That's a win.
Just so you think we're in good enough spot, even if we do better.
We have so many needs. Well, whatever the best player available is at a position of need, it's probably going to work out for us for the most part.
Balance the depth in that too. The depth at that position. But like you look at receiver, I don't have this even. I have this imprinted in my brain. I just saw this the other day. But in the draft, that receiver after pick 36, pick 35. You basically are only looking at second and third receivers. No one's ever in the last 10 years has been a huge and again, maybe I'm missing a guy, maybe I'm making a mistake. Yeah. I forgot what the years are, but for the last handful of years, there has not been a good superstar wide receiver after 35. So my point is, it's kind of, you can say that about certain running backs. You know what I'm saying? You see some guys getting drafted, Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs getting drafted high in the running back spot. And then a huge drop-off from there. Even Jonathan Brooks was drafted high for the Panthers. He's looking good. So, but that I see what Mark is saying there.
And yes,
it is dropping there.
I want to shout out your $5 holiday there. I just didn't want to lose my train of thought.
Of course, no, baby, I appreciate that. By the way, John Luna, 56 points, just like that. Marco Sepien in first place. And right now we're 6 away from hitting the bullseye, baby. 6 away from Mark getting a shitload of entries just to get a chance to get in this thing. I know he's doing it for the discussion. So what is he saying?
I don't expect all pros all over, but the drop off is huge. We nabbed from 2019, and we got CD, Diggs, Micah, Smith, Bland. But now we've got some okay starters. We got Mozzie, we got BB, we got Ferguson.
I said they could talk about Hoffman and Bass, who by the way are both undrafteds. Doing good. But Mark, yeah, I hear you, and that's why I'm saying that whether we get it's really the work of Will McClay. So I'd rather let's make Will McClay. We rely on Will McClay.
Make Will McClay great again.
Well, let's wait. No, let's make Will McClay. Let's make this guy's job easier. If we want to make anyone, we can't do it in any other way because Jerry Jones is on everyone's neck. My point is that the best way of doing it is let Will McClay cook, so to speak, as the kids say. And what I'm trying to say is, hey, listen, Will McClay, I'd rather make his job easier by giving him a higher pick to give our staff better choices. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Marco Sepien, another one here. 5 on it. We're halfway to the goal. Holy shit. Just like that. What did he say?
He said Pollard was good money. Gone. Slew of second to fourth rounders, all gone too. Only nabbed those guys over the 5 years. It isn't good drafting. Studs and a bunch of backups as starters.
Right. The way I feel right now, I know Pollard gone. I don't know if I would have paid him that money because right now Rico Dowdle is doing better than Tony Pollard when it comes to yards per carry and a lot of other things. So I'm not really with you on the Tony Pollard. I don't think he's that great. But yeah, that's part of the business. You got to lose some guys. And losing Pollard wasn't the worst thing in the world, in my opinion. Just not utilizing the running backs the right way is the issue more than losing Pollard. But I do agree overall, a lot of our guys making Will McClay's job harder sometimes with the Joneses there hurts the team and sometimes will force a decision that maybe is just not the right one for the team. And again, Will McClay makes a mistake here and there. When the Joneses get fully involved, there's a lot more mistakes. So let's keep trying to make Will McClay's job easier. And yes, if we lose, then we celebrate that part of things. Like Will McClay's job is a little easier today. If we lose. If we win, well, McClay's job is a little harder, but maybe we can put a smile on our face for the day or whatever it may be. Now, I totally understand what Marco Seppian is saying. And I also understand he's knocked John Luna to 51 points out that green. He's in the orange now, almost
That's
halfway
right.
on the board there. And he's also halfway to the very awesome, this will be the December. This will be for the month of December now. Remember that. But yes, the goal almost being hit there. I'm sorry.
I said the jersey raffle.
Yeah,
You got
jersey
there
raffle.
eventually.
Yeah, the jersey raffle bonus raffle entry there from the hitting the goal, the bullseye, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, Will McClay make his job easier. 100% agree. And by doing that, losing naturally would be the way. So, anyways, let me keep rolling here, guys, because we got the only bowl we're gonna make. It's the Pro Bowl. And right now, just really quickly, guys, 6 members of the Cowboys are currently in the top 10 at their position group in Pro Bowl voting. You want to hear? Number 1, the guy who's actually had the best chance to make the Pro Bowl for our team. That tells you what it's about. Devontae Turpin.
Hey, I was just about to say, I'm like, if it isn't Turpin or Aubrey, I'm riding.
Devontae Turpin first right now as special teams returner. He's leading the NFL Pro Bowl. He is the leading NFC Pro Bowl vote getter as well. So not just
for him,
not just the special teams, but the overall NFC. He's the number one right now, early on in this thing here, right? But he already has one kick returner under his belt.
Yeah.
He's aimed. I think he's got another. He's going to be at the Pro Bowl. Brandon Aubrey at kicker. He's second in the Pro Bowl voting. So again,
as he should be.
He should be first. But no, this year has been a little rougher. But still, point is, he's second overall. Unless the kicker is in front of him is from the NFC. He's the Cowboy. He's the NFC kicker. You got. Let me see who else you got. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, I want to say something real quick. Brandon Aubrey. I'll take Turpin.
I do know him. Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon Aubrey. He is actually He's releasing a children's book.
That's right. I thought I saw that.
Yeah, the do-it-all specialist from the Cowboys. He's releasing a book called One Dream in Front of the Other. It's for children, and it is being released in March 2025. The summary: what do you get when you get so close to a dream to only see it unfulfilled? What if you knew a bigger dream was right around the corner? So again, that's crazy what it's about. Using his lessons that he learned, and trying to continue to make the NFL. So there you go. A little side note from Aubrey, and second in vote getting at the kicker position. So he's doing things right there, even if writing a book. Now the other positions I'll talk about here is pretty simple. I mean, who else do you think made this list in their spots? CeeDee Lamb. He's right now is ranked 5th at all receivers. He's heading to that Pro Bowl. And then you got Zach Martin, baby. Believe it or not, hurt Zach Martin. He is 6th right now. He's going. This is on legacy votes from the fans. You can tell.
Yeah.
But he's right now 6th at guard. Hunter Lipke, 6th at fullback. No, he won't make. There's only one fullback, so he won't make it. And Trent Sieg, long snapper. He's right now 10th in Pro Bowl voting at long snapper. So just letting you get.
Good for him too.
You literally have 3 out of the 5 guys. 3 out of the 6 guys are special teams. The snapper, the kick returner, the punt returner, and of course the kicker. It's 3 guys right there. And you got CeeDee Lamb and Zach Martin and Hunter Lipke as the other 3 guys, all offense. It's funny how good our defense is, and Micah's nowhere to be found. No defensive players to be found as of right now. So I just wanted to bring that up there. Pro Bowl talk, which again I don't really give a fuck, but since it's the only bowl we're going, and we actually will be close enough that we can drive out there and kind of partake in it a little bit. Kind of is
Mm-hmm.
cool. Hey, the more Cowboy players, the better, I guess. Now, this game we just played against the Giants. I know you have some things from the game, but let me give you a couple quick things here. Maybe the 5 highest graded players for the Cowboys. Who was number one? Micah Parsons, highest graded player for the Cowboys, 89.9, great game. Tyler Smith, second highest, 84.6. Brock Hoffman, and I'll explain more about him in a minute, had a 76.8. Eric Kendricks at linebacker had a 76.4, and then cornerback Deron Bland at 75.6. But when you look at the offensive line for a minute, guys, listen to this. When it comes to the interior of our offensive line, Tyler Smith, 42 pass snaps, 0 pressures allowed. Cooper Beebe at center, 42 pass snaps, 0 pressures allowed. And Brock Hoffman against Dexter Lawrence most of the time, 42 pass rushing snaps, 0 pressures allowed. So the middle of the pocket was very, very clean for Cooper Rush. And obviously almost for the entire game. That's really helpful when you need your quarterback to have time. Man, I wish Dak had that
I was
time.
gonna say it sucks
Shit.
that the O line doesn't start figuring their shit out until after
That's
our
that's
starter gets hurt.
that's what happens when you put in undrafted, guys in there in the lineup like Brock Hoffman and TJ Bass. It takes time for them to get rolling. Guys like Cooper Beebe, you draft in the 4th round, third. And the point is, they're not even centers. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's just the best guard, he's playing center. The best guard of the draft, but he's a center. Marco Seppian, he's the best on the board. What did the man say with another 5 on it? And 4 away from hitting the big goal. Man, I don't think we ever hit the goal in the middle of the week or in the beginning of the week. So big shout outs to Marco getting us closer to that. What do you have to say about this whole situation?
He said, "This makes my point. We have 6 potential Pro Bowlers and we suck.
Mm,
It's the supporting cast that we
mm.
need to upgrade.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know,
And that's
offensive line
a good point.
sucks and Golson. Oh, we can do better."
Mm. That's the thing. Golston is the best we can do right now. I would say he's our third. Listen, we got Sam Williams, we got Marshawn Nealon, so we're okay. I think um, off the top of my head at pass rusher. It depends what Micah Parsons does, but we got 2 guys we're missing, and we're going to Golston's our third guy, and he's our third stringer. Golson,
Marco Seppian, much love with a
yes,
$2 holler, reminding us
yes,
here.
oh
He
yeah,
said, "And who are we playing?
exactly.
The worst team in the
The
NFL."
worst team, in my opinion, and we're worse than the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Vegas Raiders are the New York Giants. So no offense to the Giants, but that's what I believe, and I agree with Marco Seppian on that 1,000%. By the way, that didn't hit the goal, but it hit John Luna to 44 Robert Newhouse
That's
points
right.
right there. Who's in the red now? Big shout outs to Marco Seppian. We're 4 away, by the way, to hitting that goal. Now, I 100% agree with him. And again, but I do want to focusing on the offensive line real quick. No pressures from all 3 guys inside, which is the Giants' strength. So the pocket was clean for Cooper Rush. Brock Hoffman, here's the big thing about this. He went up against Dexter Lawrence pretty much the whole game. Uh, he had that 76.8 offensive grade, which was ranked 6th. 69.4 run blocking grade, ranked 8th. 87.6 pass blocking grade, ranked 2nd. And he was tied for first with 0 pressures allowed. So just fantastic numbers from Brock Hoffman against guys like Dexter Lawrence. I know he's out for the year now, but he played this game against the Cowboys. He dislocated his elbow. Brock Hoffman was a monster out there. So a lot of people are saying, do you want to play Brock Hoffman over Zach Martin? Because we got to look towards the future. So more Brock Hoffman, since he seems the guy that beat out TJ Bass for that right tackle spot. I don't know. It's an option, I guess, for thoughts. I don't know. But we also have Terrence Steele. No, we also have Terrence Steele. Sorry. Yeah, I was asking you, baby, what the about that. I know I was asking you about what you thought about Brock Hoffman over Zach Martin. So would you like
I
to
mean,
answer that?
that's dumb.
Is
That's the
it though?
easiest thing
No, but
I
you
do
didn't hear
think
the
it is.
context.
Okay,
That's the
I did
point.
hear the
So the
context.
context is that with Zach Martin already banged up and injured, maybe retiring, do we look towards the future? That's the context. And so, what do you think about that?
That's dumb, just me personally. But, again, a lot of that has to do with the fact that, Zach Martin himself, like not saying that we can't continue to work on the future, But guess what? He will have opportunities to play. The future is not going anywhere. I would much rather try to get something out of Zach Martin. And plus, I know we haven't gone into it. Um, Brock Hoffman tends to be a bit of a
Hothead.
contentious
And we need that in this team.
individual. We do need that, but I feel like it's hurt us more than it's helped us the last handful of games that I've seen it. But we will see. I just don't think I'm quite
Since this
ready to
is
say, like,
yeah.
yeah, let's start moving on from Zach Martin, just because, again, the time and the place to do it is not in the middle of the season
Well,
like
can I
this in
I
this
I,
way.
I disagree. And here's the reason why.
Okay.
Because to me, right now the season's over. Middle of the season's over. And if you want to save Zach Martin for one more year, then have him sit it out and have Brock Hoffman show. Because here's the thing, baby, it's not just about Brock Hoffman; it's about the draft. Do we go for a guard, or do we need to go for a guard to replace Zach Martin, or do we have him here? And to me, we got to see more of that. To be real, against better teams, and although he did great against Dexter Lawrence, since, one on one, Brock Hoffman did great. When we see consistency from Brock Hoffman as an undrafted guy, that's the question. That's my question. So I would say, fuck it, rest Zach Martin, get one more year out of him next year, and we got Brock Hoffman. We don't have to draft it. We do have to draft.
So
We know
basically
either
let
way.
Hoffman hold it down.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. He did good. He did. He showed it. He showed enough to say we can go out there and still play well. That's one of the best defensive players in the league, in my opinion. So to me, Zach, take it easy. If he can play one more year, and not retire, that'd be great. But we need to know about that spot. Is Brock Hoffman the answer, or is we just fucking around and then missing a pick or wasting a pick or overdrafting at that position? I guess you can't overdraft a guard, but it's just common sense when we have so many holes, like you said yourself.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Terrence Steele, by the way, great game for him in this game against the Giants, escorting a lot of the Rico Dowdle runs there to the touchdowns. He did a great job getting to the second level in this game against the Giants and helping Rico get into the end zone. So, I just want to throw that out there. Terrence Steele, a bounce back game for him. Running the ball wise, we have Rico Dowdle. And Rico, basically, first 100-yard rusher for the Cowboys in almost 2 seasons and 25 games. First 100-yard rusher for the Cowboys. Um, and the first rushing touchdown of the season, by the way, big runs and all that good stuff. The Cowboys with Rico Dowdle, he had 198 rushing yards in his last 2 games for Rico Dowdle. It's almost 100 yards a game for a running back a running game that we barely use. So this is the most rushing yardage by any Cowboy running back in 2 consecutive games since Tony Pollard had over 100 yards in 2 consecutive games over 2 years ago.
Glad to see we finally figured out how to use a running back.
He had 246 yards in those 2 games. 198 is what Dowdle has.
Yep.
And you look at the list of running backs who are averaging at least 4.2 yards per carry and a 55% success rate this year. Rico Dowdle is 7th in the NFL, successfully running and yards per carry. Bijan Robinson, Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery, Derrick Henry, Chuba Hubbard, who fumbled the game away, and Saquon Barkley are the only guys in front of him. So the Cowboys are getting a very efficient play from Rico Dowdle. When you turn around and look at Deuce Vaughn, for example, we're not getting much from Deuce Vaughn, but you know what's even worse? Deuce Vaughn has more rushing yards than Dalvin Cook. That's a waste as far as Dalvin Cook is concerned. It's unfortunate that we, hit the wall
Yeah,
there.
that one didn't work out the way that we wanted it
And the
to.
Cowboys still on Dalvin Cook and have not used him. By the way, big shout outs to Skeptical Fan. He dropped a $2 holler. He said, "How long do we
Skeptical.
much love the skeptical? He always staying skeptical." And he said that we got go Cowboys, but he said, "How long do we stay with Cooper as a backup instead of going to Trey Lance? What do you think, baby?" Or I don't even think I think he means for the future. Like, do we keep Cooper Rush either in the game or as a
Here's
backup
the
for Dak,
thing.
or what do
As
you think?
long as we have a quote unquote chance to win, Cooper Rush will be the quarterback. When you see Trey Lance out there on the field, that is the Cowboys internally acknowledging we're giving up.
So that's
I think that's the simple way of explaining it. Just
after the
because,
season, basically. The
exactly.
season. Well, I'm saying, let me say this: if we lose to Cincinnati, that kind of tries to push us towards not making the
That's
playoffs.
what I'm saying. Like every game is a reevaluation as far as that, but the more of Trey Lance you see, the more it is that we're heading towards
Yeah, just
a top tier quality draft pick.
we'll be heading that way, at least
Yeah.
towards that
And
direction,
then vice
rather than
versa.
the other way.
The less you see, you know, Trey Lance, the more likely it is that Cooper Rush is doing enough to get us
To
to
keep us
Jerry's promised
to keep
land
us
anyway.
hanging around.
Exactly.
So
Mediocre mountain.
yeah, that's what Jerry loves to see. By the way, big shout outs to Skeptical, who's third place on the overall board right now as we speak, with that drop, but he is still behind Pat Pfeiffer. I think, yeah, he's behind Pat Pfeiffer from I think a little over $1, and he'll actually have a chance to pass Pat Pfeiffer on the Cash App board. We'll see, but right now, Queens are taking it. Cash App Queens in the house. So shout outs to you guys.
Yeah. By the way, Drums and
Thank you
Cowboys said,
guys.
I never thought we'd be 12-5 again. Our rookies need time to develop, but just didn't think that we'd lose Dak. Looking forward to the new coaching after we fail to make the playoffs.
And that is the hope as far as a new coach. I think so. But a lot of people are out there saying McCarthy got this team going with backups, with no one. I mean, how is that? So a lot of people are saying, including Jerry Jones, hey, maybe we keep him on here a little longer, another 2-year extension or 3-year extension. I don't think that's a good idea. It's more about, for me, I look at the readiness when we got to the playoffs. And that was mainly on McCarthy failing us 3 years in a row. So we talk about Cooper Rush and quarterbacks. Cooper Rush has started 10 games for the Cowboys at quarterback. You know what his record is? 7-3. 70% winning percentage when Cowboys have Cooper Rush starting at quarterback.
Again,
So
I think that just, excuse me, ties right into what I had just said. Our front office, coaching staff, whatever, feel like Cooper Rush is the guy who can still potentially get us
but
there.
I think that's the thing. I think that the reason he's been successful is because of Mike McCarthy. I think McCarthy is the reason why Cooper Rush
I
is
don't
successful.
disagree.
And his game, he calls the game towards the skill of his quarterback. Just unfortunately,
We
something's going on with Dak. There's too many Chiefs and not enough.
I was just about to say, I'm like, it's too bad that you don't get that same consideration.
Yeah, with Dak.
Uh,
Front office needs to stay away. The front office stays away from from a $2 million backup, Cooper Rush, but they never staying away from a $60 million starter. So that's one of the differences. I think we just have to. Yeah, you got Dak for 3 more years. Got to hope for the best. That's it. That's the way it goes. There's nothing else to talk about. Unless Dak wants to be traded, it ain't happening. Now, and he don't want to be traded, so it ain't happening. Now, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Luke, who did good in this game as far as receivers? Brandon Cooks, baby, had 7 targets, only 3 catches, but had for 16 yards, and he had a touchdown. A couple big game enders. That first down ended the game. CeeDee Lamb had 6 targets, only 2 catches, but he did get hurt in the game, and only 39 yards for CeeDee Lamb. Luke Schoonmaker, 6 targets, 5 catches, 33 yards. Devontae Turpin, 5 targets, 3 catches, 53 yards for Turpin on offense. Jalen Tolbert, 4 targets, 2 catches for 41 yards. So Tolbert had a nice little game there. Jonathan Mingo, 4 targets, only 1 catch, 2 yards. Rico Dowdle, 3 catches with 3 targets, all caught for only 11 yards. And Jalen Brooks, 1 target, 1 catch, 0 yards. But remember, guys, CeeDee Lamb was sidelined. We'll talk about his injury in a minute, a little more detail after the game stuff. But he was sidelined for most of the second half in that Thanksgiving win over the Giants. Wound up with a season low 67% snap rate, very low. McCarthy did say after the game, I think you might have something about that. I don't know if you have it about it, but basically, CeeDee Lamb has a shoulder injury, but he gave no details. Now, I do want to go to Devontae Turpin in the mix here, just to kind of. I know we talk about his special teams, but he was targeted 5 times on 10 routes and had 4 catches for the Cowboys. He had a team leading 4 catches, 53 yards. That 53 yards receiving led the Cowboy receiving corps against the Giants. Turpin's 50% target rate is tied for third highest in a game by a wide receiver this year. And, Turpin has had 50 plus. Well, he's had 50 plus receiving yards in back-to-back games at home this season as of Thanksgiving. So he's the first Cowboys player to have consecutive games of 50 or more receiving yards at home, with both games taking place this season at home. So Turpin is at home. He is a gangbuster for the Cowboys, and he works great with us. And we need to see more Turpin on offense, which we've been screaming at the TV for a while now, haven't we? So Turpin. We need more Turpin. Now, defensively, we got special teams, we got offense. Let's talk defense, because then we got some quotes from after the game. But defensively speaking, we got Micah Parsons. I got to start with that. I know we're going to talk about the main guy on the cover, which is Overshown, but Micah Parsons was dominant against the Giants. He finished with 7 pressures, 5 pass rushing wins, but did not result in the pressure, though. He did get 2 sacks. Um, Actually, it's 1.5 sacks, but okay. I think with Mozzie Smith. And a near 30% pass rush win rate. Fantastic. He's right now doing negotiations, getting through injuries. He's going to have to negotiate his contract after this year. He's also had a career high 20 snaps on special teams. Special teams, Micah Parsons.
Special teams.
Career high 20 snaps for him. So to me, that's a little bit almost risking too much to see Micah in special teams. But I think he did run into the kicker, if I'm not mistaken, on one of those pass rushes.
Have a penalty, so maybe less Micah on
less
special
Micah
teams.
But again, he had 7 special teams plays on Thursday against the Giants. That's a lot. That is a lot from Micah Parsons there.
I have to be honest, though. Picturing Micah coming at you there in a special teams context,
scary.
That's terrifying.
Scary. That's the whole reason for it. But, you can say that about the running play too, right? I know you kind of want to see that again. Now, what about the defensive front? Mozzie Smith had a 62.8 grade. Most of it was brought down because he missed 1 tackle. But my point is that Mozzie is trending in the right direction. I'm not saying he's a superstar there, Mark, but he's trending in the right direction. Mozzie Smith, in this game, he reset the line of scrimmage a lot. He forced the running back for the Giants to cut back into the teeth of the Cowboys defense, where you saw a lot of Osa, 0097. You saw a lot of Chauncey Golston in there. They did a good job. I mean, Chauncey Golston continues to do his part, and he flashes some impressive ability out there as a third stringer. In my mind, he's a third stringer, and to do that as a starter right now is pretty good for Golston, even against shitty competition. He's going to be our third stringer. So, but he's useful. He's versatile, and he can play inside and outside. So you got Mozzie, you got Golston, I talked about Micah already, but we also have found that, Osa Odigizua had a very strong performance, in my opinion. He had 5 pressures and he added a sack. You can see his wrestling background come out against the Giants. Again, maintaining bear crawls around the corner of the offensive line to get a sack. So big shout outs to Osa Odigizua, who's playing good against, lesser competition. And then Carl Lawson. Since week 5, guys, number 55, Carl Lawson, since week 5, he leads the NFC in quarterback hits with 13. That's insane to me. I know it's a small picture. That's when he started playing for the Cowboys, really, on the field. And when you see someone like Carl Lawson, a practice squad guy who got, who's obviously had his better years passing by, when he's leading the NFC in quarterback hits since he's been playing, basically, week 5, that's great to hear. I mean, that means even Carl Lawson's getting some pressure. Osa Odigizua is second in the NFC in that same time frame with 12 quarterback hits. So both Osa and Carl Lawson hitting the quarterback. Micah's getting back there. We know that. Chauncey Golston is kind of doing his part as that versatile guy. And then Mozzie's trending in the right direction. I'm just saying, I gotta give the truth here. And against a shitty team like the Giants, it looked pretty good. Now, the guy who really showed out, I don't care who he's playing against, is DeMarvion Overshown. You see him on our thumbnail. The guy had another fantastic game. He had a game-changing interception where he tipped it up to himself and got the pick 6, and then dunked the football into the Salvation Army bucket, so to speak. I don't know if someone talked about that, but
no, but in case you didn't know, the Cowboys apparently did have another special bucket celebration planned that I guess it didn't pan out because we didn't score like on the right side of the field or whatever. But
what was involving?
Apparently, we put chicken nuggets inside the bucket this year, so there were a lot of chicken nuggets that went to waste.
Yeah, some chicken nuggets and some poor chickens died for that. But chicken nuggets went to waste, and also there was a dunk there in that bucket by DeMarvion Overshown. After that, I mean, let's admit it, that's an unbelievable, fantastic pick 6 he had. And it helped us get that 27-20 win over the Giants. You can't help it when you got good players. They're going to show out and do things like that. And he's showcasing, a lot of talents here from Overshown. After recovering from this ACL injury, guys, he has shown game after game consistently making an impact, significant impact for our defense. He had a pick 6 and a fumble recovery. Don't forget that as well. He became the first player in Cowboys history to achieve this feat since 2002. To basically get a pick 6 and a fumble recovery. So big shout outs to him. The real Madden MVP, let's be honest, it was DeMarvion Overshown. He had 5 tackles, 4 assists, 1 interception, 1 touchdown, of course, the pick six, and a fumble recovery. Crazy great for DeMar Overshown. And I know he started at 35, and now he's 13, but what about zero? I was going to buy his jersey, but I'm like, you know what? He actually mentioned this yesterday. Quote, either I'm going to wear zero or the next one will. Either way, I'm getting it. So I think we might see Overshown, Agent Zero. He wore it in college.
Yeah, Micah even made a comment about it too.
Oh, did he? Okay,
yeah.
we'll hear about that in a minute. But so great stuff from Overshown. And then Eric Kendricks. I got to say this because it's important. We talk about middle linebackers and Bobby Wagner. He got 100 tackles this last game. Eric Kendricks crossed 100 tackles against the Giants for the year, which is a great feat for a guy who needs to be a tackling machine in there.
Mhm.
So Kendricks has done his job for the most part. Again, over 100 tackles. That's the 9th time of his career. We just talked about the other guy with 100 tackles, Bobby Wagner, for the 13th time, consecutive time. Kendricks joins Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher, Keith Brooking, and Demario Davis, ranking 4th all-time for the most seasons with 100 tackles for a linebacker since 2000. So fantastic. Congrats to Eric Kendricks, who, by the way, also led the Cowboys against the Giants with 10 total tackles and also got a sack. Second on the Cowboy defense in tackles, DaRon Bland. Again, he did the second week in a row. His tackling ability is over. People missing the fact that his tackling ability is so impressive to help the run and the run support side of things. So again, DaRon Bland had 9 total tackles against the Giants. Let me actually throw DaRon Bland up there because he did fantastic in this game. So, and I'll say this: overall, gets a very shitty offense of the Giants. To finish up before we get to the quotes post game, the Cowboys only gave up 131 passing yards. It gets a very shitty offense and a very shitty quarterback. But in the last 5 instances of allowing only 131 or fewer passing yards, the Cowboys have done that twice at home. The last 2 home games against the Giants. So both last 2 years against the Giants, we've held them to under 131 yards or less, basically. And by the way, Jordan Lewis versus Malik Neighbors was supposed to be a big battle there. They got in each other's faces multiple times. Drew Lock, third down pass intended to Neighbors. Jordan Lewis knocked it away. Basically trash talking Neighbors while he was on the ground. I'm just saying, I like the fact that we got this week. Hopefully, we're going to talk about the injuries. Hopefully, we got all our cornerbacks back because Jordan Lewis playing great. DaRon Bland's playing great. Let's get our Trayvon Diggs back in the house. When you look at this game, baby, at the end of this game, unfortunately, we did lose a cornerback. Josh Butler, done for the season with a torn ACL. It's going to require surgery to repair it. And that was per Stephen Jones right after the I 105 through the fan. So that's over with for him, unfortunately. Um, I also have something here about Wanye Thomas, who had a meniscus issue.
Oh no!
But we dodged the worst case scenario for him. Thank goodness. Number 30 will be back. Josh Butler gone, but we got Wanye Thomas at safety back. But his prognosis is 2 to 3 weeks. Keep that in mind. Now, according to Stephen Jones, earlier this week, we'll talk more about that in a minute. CeeDee Lamb expected to be a go with that shoulder injury against the Bengals. We'll see. And guys like Tyler Guyton came out this game with a high ankles. He has a high ankle sprain. Was nursing a shoulder issue the past several weeks, so we'll keep an eye on that. McCarthy did say McCarthy's not optimistic about getting Zach Martin back for basically practicing again and getting against the Cincinnati Bengals in that Monday night game. McCarthy we'll talk, that was early in the week. Also, he talked about DeMarcus Lawrence, which we'll talk about as well. It's going to do more in practice, but there isn't a definitive answer there yet about when DeMarcus Lawrence comes back. Trayvon Diggs, quote, will take the week as he continues his recovery. So this bonus 10 days, that's what this is being planned for. Now, baby, what else was said? Because McCarthy said about DeMar and Overshown today, quote, I think he just seen the tip of the iceberg. But what was said after the game by the players, front office, coach, whoever? I don't know, but you let me know.
Of course. So McCarthy first said this because, of course, with everything going on, everyone's talking like, oh my God, playoffs and what does your future look like and all that stuff. He said, hold up. I'm only focused on the Bengals. Saying, quote, I understand people want to talk about it and it's good content. There's narratives everyone's talking about. I think even a couple of our players, you've got them to talk about it yesterday. I think that just clearly shows that the belief we have in our inner circle of players, coaches, and staff everything is still in front of us back when we started this journey back in April. But I think with my personality and my approach, my messaging is let's just pour our energy into Cincinnati right now because that's all that matters. Because if we don't take care of Cincinnati, then the narratives will definitely change.
Now, I want to say something on that quote. Very important quote because this is basically him saying, "This is my career with the Cowboys and my staff." That's what he's guys. That's what he's saying. I just want to leave it there. Right.
And some fun stat time. Mike McCarthy tied Bill Parcells for the 14th
Hmm.
in NFL history for the coach
Mhm.
with 173 victories.
Oh, with the wins. All right.
He
Him and Bill
said,
Parcells.
McCarthy said, quote, I have such great respect for this game and the people before me. I don't know Coach Parcells, but I've just always admired him, particularly his generation. That was the generation that I broke in under.
Hmm.
I was so blessed to work for Schottenheimer and the staff that I was on. You hear our stories, you work with different people, and I've always felt Marty and Bill had similar styles and approaches. Just to be mentioned with any of these guys, it's a blessing.
Awesome to hear there. Again, it is pretty awesome to see him talk again. And that's somebody who, Bill Parcells, somebody who literally actually coached, retired after coaching the Cowboys and dealing with Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
By the way, big shout outs once again to Skeptical Fan. This time, baby, there ain't no mistaking it. He's in first place. He dropped a $2 holler. He said, next season, I would like to replace Cooper Rush. So his vote is
So would I.
replace him. But no, but
He
Cooper Rush
said next
7-3.
season.
I know, but he's 7-3 though. And I know he asked if Cooper Rush should stay or not. But a 7-3 guy under McCarthy's, but Cooper Rush under McCarthy is one thing. Under somebody else, get somebody else other than Cooper Rush. You know what
So
I mean? So, but
McCarthy also said it was definitely overdue
Mm.
as far as finally
winning
winning at home.
break that damn winning situation there. But I want to say, Skeptical is in first place now as a Cash App leader.
Ooh.
And he is
Thank you,
closing in on
Skeptical.
second and first place, I guess you can say. Or at least second place on the overall board. Shout out to Skeptical Fan, the Cowboys, and always stay skeptical. Okay, go ahead. What else did McCarthy say?
It was important to get the win on a lot of fronts, but it was really important to get a home win.
That's true.
And that was just specifically about the fact that we
Yeah.
finally managed to
You know what those other
break
fronts
that
are, right?
record.
You know what those other fronts are. Coaching situation, in my opinion. I don't know. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's one of those other fronts that I'm thinking in the back of his head. He's thinking Juan Carlos with the 5 on it, and guess what he did, baby? If we hit the goal, which we're 3 away from, he gets an entry into the you know the raffle entry.
That's right. Thank you
Right?
so much, Juan Carlos.
Much love.
Appreciate you. You know what he had to say with his
Hit me with
$5
it.
holler?
Hit me with it.
Hey, MCF.
What's
Me and
up?
my dad were at that Thanksgiving game.
Ooh,
It was our first time going to a game, and I'm glad we got to see our first home win.
yes,
Hey,
you're the good luck man.
I guess you're gonna have to go to the rest of them.
We need you again.
Thank you so much, Juan Carlos. That
Yeah,
sounds like an amazing experience,
very
and
good. Especially
oh,
Thanksgiving, right?
Thanksgiving, yeah.
Yeah, and man, too bad we
Thank
didn't have
goodness
you.
we won.
Too bad we didn't have you the whole year, and against the Packers last year. Man, that would have been nice. You had those wins, but appreciate you, man. I'm glad you had a great time and a fun time there on Thanksgiving with your family, and also you got to see our first win of the year, like you said, and that is freaking awesome. Much love to you, brother, and appreciate you. I got you on the board already in a tie there with the other people with the 5 on it. And just to reiterate, we're 3 away from hitting the bullseye. No one gets credit for this or gets a raffle for this if we don't hit the bullseye. So we're $5 or higher away. We're hitting that bullseye. And shout out to Skeptical Fan who's currently in the lead in the Cash App side of things. What else? Was anything else said?
Yeah, that was pretty much it as far as like from the
From
coaching
McCarthy?
side of things. We'll get to the Jerry comments in a minute, but I want to roll back actually a little bit, talk about our defense because DeMarvion Overshown, he had this to say as far as his pick six. When the running back let me loose, I was like, oh, there's some BS going on. And then the quarterback threw the ball, and I was like, this is my play to make. I was able to kick in some nitrous, and we were dancing it in the end zone.
We saw that again. If you guys didn't see it, he dunked it into the end zone, into the red kettle. So awesome to see him do that. And yeah, I mean,
look, if you didn't see it somehow, go back and see it.
yeah, but I mean,
was
but the Marvin Overshow, man, he's popping off that screen, and he's awesome.
So, and even Micah had this to say about Overshown and the way that he saw him play, saying, I told y'all from the beginning he was going to be a dude. Before the injury, I said that's an all-pro, Pro Bowl type player. Now, he ain't number 11 yet. That's Micah, obviously. He's saying that's age and O. He's not trying to be like me. He has his own special specimen. He's a wildcat on the field, and man, I love playing next to him.
Boom. Oh, he's right there. You see his number, his rookie year, 35. Now he's 13. Soon to be Agent Zero on the prowl. Can't wait to see I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see if he gets the zero or not. But the Marvin Overshown, Micah's giving him props. Everyone's giving him props. He's definitely uh, the biggest standout. Plus, improved player on our defense. I think on our team this year. He's the man. So what else? Was anything else said about him, or is that it?
No, as far as Overshown, yeah, that was it. And of course, Micah, he was the player who got to eat the turducken, and
Hmm.
was having a great time being
I think
interviewed
Overshown should have been there.
post game. He's one of those that believes that we're gonna be turning it around and making a run for it.
Of course,
Just
yeah,
wanted to
you gotta have that
make
mindset.
that
Yeah,
clear.
yeah, you gotta have that mindset. I can understand a leader, one of the best in your position, having that mindset, even though we know, we know.
And the final two little comments, I know you already touched on these, but Jerry did mention that this extra day of rest because it is that Monday game
Hmm.
should be beneficial.
Actually, three
Not
days
just
of rest, right? The
yeah,
extra day plus the 3 days we had after
yeah, but
Thanksgiving.
I
Yeah.
think it's more extra day in the
Mm,
sense of like
I
you
see.
expect to play
Sunday,
Sunday
right?
after that Thursday game, not necessarily Monday.
Mm,
But he's just saying that that's going to do us very well. Um, So fingers crossed that it actually does benefit us and that we're able to, see some results from a few guys maybe taking an extra day or two of rest.
I agree.
Jerry also said on 105 through the fan that Dallas is more than likely to get Tank back for the Cowboys next game.
Against the um, we're looking at
Yeah,
the
it's
Bengal game
December
he's talking
9th.
about, right? Yeah,
Yep.
the Monday night game. So
hmm
there you go.
So again, and that's Jerry saying more than likely. Obviously, I feel
I
like
got a little update.
tomorrow we probably will have a deeper update, but of course I'll let Mr. MCF handle
I
that.
think Wednesday we'll get it in practice. Wednesday, no, Thursday's practice. So remember that Thursday is the first practice because it's a Monday night game. So we'll know more for sure then. As the leader, skeptical fan, I just want to shout him out again. Make sure everyone knows that he currently is now taking the lead. Oh, let me do that on the Cash App side. So speaking out a little bit past Pat Pfeiffer there, and let me read, baby. I must stop for a second because we got the great Pat Pfeiffer who took it back with the 5 on it. Man, Pat Pfeiffer with
Way to go, Pat Pfeiffer. Appreciate you. Much
the
love.
queen of the cash app. She's trying to take it back, even though Mary Alvarez is the leader. The queen, Pat Pfeiffer, is trying to retain it under that name. So, excuse me. Well, big shout out to Pat Pfeiffer, and I'll update the board. I think she's now officially all by herself in second place. I think she just jumped skeptical and Mr. A. Lavelle. Yep. And Pat Pfeiffer is in second place behind Marco Sepien. So,
Um, and the final. Actually, no, I already mentioned the fact that Jerry had some positive things to say as far as timing of everything as it relates to injuries. So, let's go ahead and hit up the chat here for a minute. But before I do, let me say a friendly reminder to everybody here chilling, hanging with us to hit like if you haven't already, subscribe down below, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a live stream here on the MCF side of
damn
things.
right. So big shout outs to everybody as well as John Luna, sponsor of the week, 3 weeks in a row, gifting champion 3 weeks in a row. John Luna's also got 39 points in the stream boss as we speak. And don't forget, like we were talking about the queen of the cash app, it was Pat Pfeiffer 2 weeks ago. This week it is Mary Alvarez in the house repping it. And hey, right now the leader is Pat Pfeiffer. So it's the ladies' night. It's the ladies' week the last 3-4 weeks here on the Cash App side. Shout outs to the ladies repping that star, baby, like you, over everything. So
You
big shout
know it.
outs to the Pat Pfeiffer, the Jason Renfro, Jet Li 44, and of course Skeptical Fan. I'm sorry, guys. And then we also three drops of 5 or higher in the cash in the super chat to hit that mark. So we'll see what happens. Now, is that all your quotes? Maybe.
Yeah.
So we are finishing it up here with no more Jerry Jones. We're finishing with the Bengals. It's really, really quickly. It's more a combination of like the playoff situation, the McCarthy situation, and his upcoming game against the Bengals. So I'll explain here in a minute. I have just two quick things, and really about our injuries as well. So Mike McCarthy today, and this is why I wanted to save this for today. For now, for today, McCarthy basically is going to decide who practices this week in terms of injured guys. Basically Wednesday, which we really our practice is Thursday, but on Wednesday is going to be an abbreviated practice. So on that, what do you say about 65%? Is going to be abbreviated, and then Thursday will be a normal Wednesday practice. So it's going to be about a 65% kind of full practice, but it's just kind of it's going to be a little halfway, half power practice on Wednesday because we don't have to play till Monday. And then Thursday, Friday, Thursday's going to be a regular, Wednesday. Friday's going to be a regular Thursday, and Saturday's going to be a regular Friday practice. So that's the way it's going to go this week, as we know. Now, who's going to be playing and not playing, or practicing and not practicing? Zach Martin is going to be with the group of guys that are kind of banged up.
Okay.
A little and Demarcus Lawrence will be with the rehab group for McCarthy. Again, has a threshold he has to hit before he can return. Stephen Jones, let me put Stephen up here. Stephen Jones said this about Demarcus Lawrence today. He said this, quote, probably it's a long shot that we'll see Demarcus Lawrence playing against the Bengals, but then he added, quote, not out of the question. That's leave it up to Stephen Jones to keep us hoping. But listen, Demarcus Lawrence, I don't see him playing this week based off of the way that Stephen Jones spoke on that. He did finish by saying, let me put Stephen Jones back up here. Fuck. Sorry, guys, hit the wrong button. Stephen Jones did say one last thing about Demarcus Lawrence, quote, I certainly expect to see him out there sooner than later. Guys, it's already later. Sooner than later, I mean, it's no sooner. It's already later. It's very, very late. So he could, he's just saying sooner than later from now. But I understand that, but it's stupid because the season's over, basically. Why throw him in there to get what, hurt again? I don't know. I guess if he's going to go to another team, then, we're not going to re-sign him, then might as well get the most out of him. I don't know. Now, the last guys that McCarthy spoke about, Trayvon Diggs, he said, quote, I'm hopeful he'll do some work early this week. That trend, if that continues that trend, that means Trayvon Diggs will probably play. It's good. He said about Tyler Guyton, quote, he will be with the rehab group, again, with the Zach Martin group there, and see if DeMarcus Lawrence can even get there. Jake Ferguson, remember that concussion. 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks out, 2 games in a row because of concussion. Quote, hope that he will be close to coming back. They're not even sure he's coming back. And then CeeDee Lamb with all those injuries, said, quote, we will see, and we'll assess where he is on Wednesday. So you kind of, Wednesday is like the assessment day of all the injured guys. 65% of the team, I guess, banged up or injured. They're going to get abbreviated practice on Wednesday, and then regular stuff on Thursday, hoping to see who can kind of play, who can practice, and who can't. That's what the Wednesday kind of mini practice is for, which is not going to be very harsh. You know what I mean? It's going to be very laid back. Now, Mike McCarthy, in this game against the Bengals, he said, quote, oh, I'm sorry, against the Bengals, this is about Joe Burrow. He said, quote, and I will quote him here.
Okay.
A lot of times this looks like it's a 7-on-7 in this passing game, meaning Joe Burrow and Bengals passing game. So, again, he is, obviously worried about the Joe Burrow passing game, but I'm going to talk about that in a minute. The Bengals right now, guys. Let me get McCarthy out the way. Hold on a second. But the Bengals right now have lost 4 games this year in which they scored at least 30 points. I don't know when the last time that was done. So this week against the Bengals, and this will be a quickie, guys, because again, this is we're almost done with the show. It's basically the show's over. So prepare if you guys do want to hit that goal. We're only like 10 minutes away from ending this whole show tonight. So keep that in mind. So when it comes to the Cowboys in this game against the Bengals, and let me put that Bengals thing up because it's a need to know what we're talking about here. And it's the Bengals, use them a little bit as a rug or something, right? So the thing is, the Cowboys have opened as 6.5-point underdogs at home on Monday night against the Bengals. And here's the thing. I'm going to say this, guys. Let's be honest, baby. Let's be honest. Cowboys are going to probably take the L in this game. All right? Oh, let me do that. They'll probably take the L in this game. But I can't do that. Let me do this. The bigger point I want to make is this. Joe Burrow, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but Joe Burrow is banged up. After this game against the Steelers yesterday, Burrows was limping at the end of the game. The last like minutes of the last seconds of the game, he was kind of walking.
Damn.
He was
Not
limping.
good.
So let's be honest, guys. If Burrow plays against the Cowboys and he's basically close to 100%, I don't see the Cowboys being able to beat the Bengals. We'll talk about the breakdowns more on like Friday or Saturday, but Cowboys just not good enough, I think, on either side of the ball to win the game. And the way the Panthers have been playing, probably won't win that game either in the next 2 weeks. So that would solidify McCarthy's end for the Cowboys if Burrow plays and he's like 90%, 100%.
Yeah.
But there's a chance that he could also be hobbled or not be 100%, and that could be the one thing that holds the Bengals back again, especially against Micah Parsons and our defense. I think that's the big key there because our offense against their defense, and they don't have a great defense. We'll talk about that, and our offense obviously is pretty bad. Yeah, but if we run the ball, maybe we can stay in it that way. And the defense got to keep us in the game if you want to try to actually win this game at home against the Bengals on Monday night. You know Jerry Jones definitely wants that. If we beat the Bengals on Monday night, it will be because of the defense not allowing our offense having to do more than they need to. That's talk about helping Will McClay. How do you help Cooper Rush on the offense? The defense keeps the score low, and we get points on that board somehow. Whether it's Overshown's pick that changed the game and gave Cooper Rush a little leeway there. We need something like that to happen with the Bengals. Or I don't see or if Burrow is banged up to the point where he's having issues on the field, which I don't think he will. If he's good enough to go, he's probably going to be able to dissect us. So that's kind of where we're at with this Bengals game. Look, again, I was trying to tell you guys about the spot if we lose against the Bengals, whatever it may be, and lose against the Panthers. Fans have been caught up in these last two wins for the Cowboys that are not really that great, especially against the Giants. As we said, we all knew it was bad when Jerry Jones, mismanaged the offseason and didn't do anything to get better. And then you look at the teams left here, like the Buccaneers, currently the 8th seed in the playoffs, 6-6. The Cowboys are the 12th seed at 5-7. Above the Cowboys are three more teams, like the Cardinals, Rams, and Niners. The Cowboys lose every single tiebreaker if we if we had to decide the playoffs tomorrow. So my point is, probably not going to beat Joe Burrow at his best at the Bengals. The only way we stay in there is with our defense, and let's all be honest, season's pretty much over. No matter how cool it is that we won two in a row. We'll talk more about these Bengals on Friday or Saturday. We'll see which day it is. Another little thing I wanted to mention. This is a birthday weekend for your boy MCF. So, we're definitely going to go live. We're going to try to go live around my birthday, actual day. And we'll celebrate, hopefully, with a Cowboy victory on Monday night. And, of course, on After Dark, a little extra special there. Probably this Friday night or Saturday night. You gotta just know. If you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, go over there and you'll see it. We're going to party down a little bit maybe Friday or Saturday night over there. On that note, baby, I think we are 3 away from the goal. So, unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to hit it. But I do want to give very, very big shout outs to Darren Posey for today's 5, being in the Navy Blue crew there, along with A. Lavelle in the silver level, Harold Swaim in the Navy Blue, Alpha Male Pimp in the Navy Blue, Skeptical Fan with his PayPals and his Cash App drops, currently leading in the Cash App side. I'm sorry, he's not leading up. Pfeiffer's leading because she actually dropped the love here tonight and here, as well as Marco Seppian with his drops taking over the top spot currently on the board this week. Skeptical Fan right there. Like I said, in the running with Jet Li, right behind the Cash App Queen right now, or the former Cash App Queen, Pat Pfeiffer. Just so you guys know, just so we know, big shout outs. John Luna, not just 39 points on the stream boss, but he's also, as you can see right above my head, the gifting champion with 5, a three-peat winner there. And the sponsor of the week, also John Luna, three-peat winner there. The queen of the Cash App, none other than Mary Alvarez. Big shout outs to her. And then we talk about leaders this week. The overall leader is Marco Seppian so far on the board for that sponsor of the week spot.
Big mahalo.
Yeah, and no leaders in the gifting side. Of course, our second stream of 2 weeks, so that's why it's kind of low. And of course, the battle for the Cash App side, which is Mary Alvarez right there. But who's leading this week? We had drops from Jet Li 44, Skeptical Fan, but the leader, not skeptical, it's Pat Pfeiffer currently in the house. So big shout outs to her, trying to get her crown back from 2 weeks ago as Mary Alvarez holds it, keeps it warm for the Cash App Queens. On that note, baby, I'm done. Speaking on my side, we don't hit three more. We don't hit the goal, and we only got 5 minutes. So, baby, I want you to do those final shout outs, last comments, and let's hit the road, Jake. You know what I mean?
Shout out to the man Burn Bar.
Yeah.
You already know, gang, gang. That's our little running joke there. Now, see, Bass, much love. I agree 1,000% with this. He said, overshown is a mentality I want every player
I
on my
hear you.
team to have.
Agree. Micah's is pretty good too, in the sense of
If
like,
only.
yeah, Micah's not bad either. I'll say that in the sense of like,
Pat
hey, I want
Pfeiffer.
to win everything.
By the way, Pat Pfeiffer asking, after dark tonight?
Oh, I
Yes,
answered.
yeah.
I answered. I said, yep,
So
yep,
there you
yep.
go. So, of course, again, huge shout out to Juan Carlos. Appreciate you. And congrats again for you and your dad being able to see that Cowboy
That is
victory.
awesome. That is awesome.
We have Aztec Aguilar 04 saying, Butter was balling too. It's a damn shame.
Yeah, well, let's hope he can get the record still somehow.
Let me see. Double R, what's up? Much love. Have a great night too. Jumps and Cowboys, yeah. Again, overshown is
Yeah, he's something else right
one of
now
the happier things on this team at the
for
moment.
this year for sure.
Rolling back, I want to make sure I don't miss anybody here. We have Jumps and Cowboys. A big mahalo, Marco Seppian.
Yeah,
I appreciate you, of course. Oh, oopsie. We have GM in the house here as well. Have a great night. Just rolling through here. At least on my side, that's everybody here. Oh, sorry.
oh,
There's one more. Little Dallas Cowboy. Hope you're having a great night as well.
I
Thank
think you
you.
missed one if I'm not mistaken.
Uh,
I think they are posting now.
I wonder who it is.
I don't
Of
know.
course, guys. Again, if you are, you want a little more late night,
Yeah,
fun there.
yeah,
Go
not
ahead
really
and
as football related, but yeah,
check out the MCF After Dark
you know it.
and After Dark too.
Yeah, subscribe to both. Hit the notification bell for both. But again, I'm not. It's not football, so don't expect the same thing he's getting here. There's a lot
Mm.
more freedoms there and a lot crazier shit going down. So just wanted to make sure everyone's in the loop. Those that want to be in the loop, you don't have to be. It's a whole different world. But anyways, anybody else in the house, baby, or are we caught up?
I'm gonna read one final comment here. So huge shout out to the man Seabass who said, "I have good news. I'm going back to Seoul.
Hey,
One of my
that's
buddies
awesome.
sadly dropped out due to medical reasons,
Oh,
so I'm
that part
competing
sucks.
again in February. I won't be seeing the Super Bowl. Damn.
Damn. Well, at least you know the
Hey,
Cowboys won't be in.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. I'm like, rest assured, you'll be okay. You won't miss
Yes.
much.
But you know what? Big congrats to you, Seabass. Much love from the heart. And hey,
That's
your hard
awesome.
work pays off. It's awesome to hear to see, and we are very happy and proud for you, brother. So thank you for all the hard work you do out there for for your competitions and get the goal. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So on that, no, unlike the Cowboys, obviously, we'll switch that ugly. Again, we won the game 27-20. It's the Giants. It's nothing. It's whatever. But switch over to the Bengals. We already dropped the new emojis. I'm pretty sure they're out there. So if you haven't seen them yet, please drop them. But yeah, those emojis, the Bengals suck emojis, or whatever you want to call them, right there is a couple examples of it. When we get to the game, we get our game day reaction live stream on Monday night. Let's make sure we get those flying on the screen.
Heck yeah.
And on Friday too, probably Friday, a Fan Friday this week. I know we got some actually, I forgot to do the shout outs, but the star level, Jet Li and Skeptical Fan, John Luna, A. Lavelle, Indian Boogie and the Silver. You know what I'm saying? This is just, Justin Quarles. Big shout outs to
Top
everybody.
dog doing
That's
Brassard.
right. The top dog, all the guys. This is basically we just did the shout outs for the silver and the star and over everything levels. So big shout outs to you guys. We'll do the raffles for November coming up soon. But first, we're going to do our goal hitting raffle for the month of November and see who gets that bonus raffle entry. Maybe we should do like if we get a lot of them, maybe we should do like two or three and throw a couple names in there. So give them a bigger chance. And then maybe everybody gets to see how it works the first time. They'll understand for the month of December. Let's hit those goals, and you get many people will get chances to get into this raffle.
Yeah.
So we're going to do four, like one for each week kind of deal. We'll see what happens. But either way, thank you all for joining us for another one here in My Cowboys Family. It was a longer one for our usuals because of course, the fact that we've not been around for about 6 days. But that's what the holidays are for. Hope you guys had a very great and happy Thanksgiving, especially with the victory,
That's right.
and stayed safe out there. And hey, glad you're back here with us, baby. Why don't you let everybody know why we do this here at MCF every single time we can do this for almost 7.5 years?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Yeah, I mean, the way you look at it on this channel, on your shirt right there, MCF. Here on this channel, win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly, we always, and you can see that star over the MCF. We always rep that star over everything. Here for almost 8 years on YouTube. Never forget the number one thing on My Cowboys Family, here, now, and forever. As always,
Go
go
Cowboys!
Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. It's going to have to be fixed win, or I'm talking about 6 Super Bowl. It starts next year, though. Guys, thank you again for being here, dropping the knowledge, dropping the chat, dropping the love from above. Can't do this without your interaction and input. So,
Sea
baby,
Bastard,
yeah.
just glad to have you here. Seriously,
Yes,
thank you so
appreciate you
much.
so much. You're rolling with us here, Juan
Always.
Carlos and everybody else. Thank you guys. Marco Seppian. Appreciate all the viewpoints, all the thoughts, and we'll keep this going again on Friday. So on that note, as we bounce out of here, guys, and relock and reload for the Fan Friday for the Fan Friday show coming around the corner, baby, before we can officially drop out of here for the night, let everybody know what we're gonna do first.
We gotta drop the beat.
Oh yeah, that beat's officially dropped here in MCF. And now, at about 4 o'clock or 4:15, it'll be After Dark style over there on the other channels. After Dark 2 tonight. So, guys, we'll see you guys there. If not, well, we'll see you guys here on Friday night for another one. You can be anywhere. You're here checking out and listening to us talking about all the Cowboy news, info, and updates right here for another Cowboys chat. A recap / quick little glance at the Bengals. But here we got Overshown, the breakout player here. Our offensive line, especially interior, doing great against some of the better players of the Giants inside there. Lamb hurt, but looks like he's coming back. A lot of guys hurt. A lot of guys coming back. Some aren't. Some are. We'll see. Turpin tearing it up. Pro Bowl style or kickoff return style or even offensive yard style, receiving yards. And Micah, well, he's Micah. What are you going to do about it? There you go, guys. Here in MCF is about that navy blue, that silver too. That star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here in My Cowboys Family. You guys keep it rolling. Thank you guys for dropping your knowledge, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, dropping the love. And of course, when you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell as well, and hit the notifications to all videos. We're going live. Join us on the Discord link. Also, don't ever forget to My Cowboys Family on Twitter, X, and all social media. And we'll see you back here very soon, guys. Stay safe. Much love to all, and never, ever forget, go Cowboys!